Yeah. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. All right, let's get this thing going, man. I really appreciate you guys now. Yeah. All right, so we got to go over a few things here. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in to the nation. It's always a pleasure. It's always plus talking to you guys. Always use John Machota. Far as Cowboys content, Cowboys information, I like to reach out to him. I like to see what he tweets about because he's actually there live in the flesh down there at the training facility. He got just more insights to things out there. Guys know where film and stuff like that comes from. It comes from this guy that's out there at the Star or out there at Oxnard when they are out there too as well. So I always like to pick his brain and also like to see what he tweets about too as well. So he's down there and he came up with this thing here. Go to his Twitter page. It's at John Machota. You guys can follow his page. He got like Cowboys highlights. He can show you all types of good stuff out there. But one thing I want to point out and pick up at and look at too as well is the defensive starting lineup as it relates. Looks like a nickel package here because they only have the two linebackers here. And it's just, he said Cowboys first team defensive lineup today. And normally the team that comes out first would be the team that's there. So it is what it is at this point. Before I get into details of what my thoughts are on this thing, I'd like to give a shout out to Billy Lee that's in the Facebook panel. If you are following from other pages, try to go to Law Nation's comment section. You can comment there. That's where I'll be at to be able to read your comments. Unfortunately, the way when I do these cross posts, I'm not able to read the Silver and Blue Nations and the Phantom and also the EBSN online. But shout out to them. Follow their pages. And also D Dallas Prospect. Every legend was once a prospect. Follow their pages and you guys can see good content too as well. But right now I'm cross posting on all of their pages. Shout out to Jamal Anderson, Live Like 95, Chris Newman, Emmanuel Kennedy, Eric, shout out to you too as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's always a plus. And also on the Facebook side of things, who else we have? Billy Lee and Ted Mitchells. Thank you guys for tuning in. On the YouTube world, I got Kyle Ware and also Diza Beck. I think that's how you say your name. You the first person in here. You laying the wood down there. That's what I'm like to hear. That's what I like to see, Deezer. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know if you laying the wood, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, right? But let's go over this list as it relates to the Cowboys content. John Machota, he puts out here, this is the lineup that he saw with his eyes. So just factual information. So far, right defensive end, they have Randy Gregory, right defensive end. I can close my eyes and imagine what Randy Gregory is going to do out there. It's going to be nice. The technician with his hands, so skillful. Go follow my guy Vach Lombardi's page. He did a full assessment on Randy Gregory. His name is Vach Lombardi. You can type in Vach Lombardi on the YouTube world and you will find his page. He did a full breakdown assessment of Randy Gregory. The guy is quick, fast, elusive, got the bend to get off the edge. All in reservation is the off the field deals, right? The mental aspect of whether or not he can stay on the field for 16 weeks and beyond. Hopefully he can. Hopefully everything can just come into the mix with this Randy Gregory guy. But they got them started off with Randy Gregory, right defensive end. Ooh, that just makes you want to just shake and just move around, right? Defensive tackle. Everybody have like their reservations on them. Hope you guys are able to see the screen. If not, then just try to zoom in and get real close to the screen. We have here Tyrone Crawford. Defensive tackle. He lost some pound this year because he thought for sure he was going to play out in the end. I don't know if he can play that at defensive tackle consistently at the weight that he's in, but he's serviceable. Crawford always been one of those guys. He's a tweener. He's not going to give you a high production far as defensive end play, nor a defensive tackle, but he's serviceable. He is one of the guys that you can trust off the field, and he's one of the guys too as well as just the leader on the team. Although his production don't match his efforts out there, but he's a shoe-in guy that you know for sure you can count on Sundays. And then he's good against the run. That's one thing no one can argue against that. Tyrone Crawford is real good against the run. And then they have Antwan Woods. Remember, this is like a nickel package here. So most teams love to pass than run. So this package right here is designed to stop the pass. This pass rushing defense or what have you. Then they have Demarcus Lawrence, left defensive end. We all know that Demarcus Lawrence stepped his game up last year. Everybody, even including me, most people, I know a few people will say, no. I always had D-Law pegged as the guy that's going to be this 14, 15, maybe 16 sack guy. A lot of people saying that, right? But neither here nor there. You got him at left defensive end. And if D-Law can just give us the same production that he did last year, OMG, that would be nice. That would be nice. And then you can just only imagine. Close your eyes and see. Close your eyes and see. Randy Gregory on the other end. And then you have D-Law on that side. Man, that's medieval. That's nice. Then they have Joe Thomas. This guy. Oh, my God. Go back. I do know that the last game, the Cardinals game, I do have it posted on my Patreon. You guys can go there and click the link that's down below if you're on my Facebook page or my YouTube page, and you can see the game. Or you can go to NFL Game Pass, and you can see that guy Joe Thomas. Then he's a Thomas. That guy Joe Thomas, man, woo! We may have a diamond in the rough. I'm telling you, that Joe Thomas, man, he's a hitter. He's a rangy guy, tackle well out in space. He plays special teams good, too. I was charting all of his clips out there, and I was saying, okay, if I need to do a film session, I need to do a film session on. Thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session. As we take a deeper look at Joe Thomas, the way that he had the tenacity, the flight to the ball, he's one of the guys that's stepping it up this year at all. And now, this is the thing. If Joe Thomas can elevate the rest of the guys on the team, because we understand when Sean Lee went down, the team deflated. In a sense, kind of like Tom Brady, what he do with the footballs, right? This Joe Thomas, if he can inflate everything and don't deflate when Sean Lee is out there, we might have something cooking in it. We might have something cooking with this defense. And we all know that Jalen Smith, and I'm going to break down the responsibilities out of this nickel formation, or whether or not they going with the two linebackers. It's pretty much, this is how the Cowboys line up in their nickel. Jalen Smith. Now we can see Jalen Smith backpedal out of his stance. Now Jalen Smith don't have to turn his back to the quarterback now, because he got the knee situation and the foot, all those things working together now. It looks good for Jalen Smith, his ability to keep his eyes down the field and keeping his eyes on the quarterback and read the quarterback eyes and adjusting, and also knowing where the quarterback. Remember this right here. Football is a game of inches. Now that Jalen Smith, he don't have to really turn his back towards the offense. He can really. Jalen Smith may get him 2 or 3 interceptions this year, believe it or not. Jalen Smith in Notre Dame, he was saying that. He made an interview earlier this week or week before. He said, I'm better than the Notre Dame Jalen Smith. And I believe him. I actually believe him. I think that he is. Because now he's more, put it like this, he's faster. He looks faster now. He's bigger, stronger, wiser, smarter. And then he's one of those guys that's a student of the game. And now you're telling me that this guy knows the playbook even more? If you can put those things into words. Look, Jalen Smith will, if the football gods, just can grant us mercy with the war of attrition, if he can stay healthy, mark my words, he can be. And I'm not just trying to pump up everything to get you guys crunk and just ready to get out of your seats. But this is the thing. Jalen Smith equals Ray Lewis if healthy in this defense. The way Ray Lewis was able to elevate the entire Ravens roster. If Jalen Smith healthy. My, oh my. This team would just make you just want to shake yourself out of your seat, man. Jalen Smith, if he's healthy, this thing is just going to just be just this linebacking core, you can close your eyes and say, okay, against the run, we going to be 100. Against the pass, we going to be 100. Because even in looking at this list, you don't even have a Sean Lee out there, right? Because this is a nickel formation anyway. But neither here nor there, right? Moving down, let me just put the little marker there. You guys can see that? All right, moving down on this thing right here, we have Chidobe Awuzie, or Chidobe Awuzie, Cheeto Awuzie, right? This is the thing. Shout out to Wakanda, right? This guy just remind you of like the essence of a Black Panther, right? Let me tell you about Cheeto. The guy is physical. His rookie year, I compared him to Rhodes from he played for the Minnesota Vikings. I compared him to him, and if you look at the stats and look at his measurables, they are very identical. And let me tell you, the guy is physical. He will not allow you to get a free catch on him, meaning that you got to work and you got to inch. You got to fight for every inch on that route. He's going to jam you. He's going to put some type of physical pressure on you. And then when he's able to hit you, you will feel it. That's what Chidobe Awuzie or Chidobe Awuzie is doing out there. And the way that Chris Richard is playing this guy, being able to face up the opposition and still keep his eyes on the quarterback. He's not playing in the zone. He's not actually having his back turned towards the offense. This guy, I'm telling you, his redirect is crazy. He's a boundary corner. He's going to play on the boundary side. He's explosive. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to pump him up. Go back and watch the 3 preseason games that we have and look at number 24. You would rarely see him get beaten. I know preseason is understandable. But this first team defense have yet to allow anybody to score on them. And even though it was like disaster last week or, the other day, we want to score 3 points. And I'm not even going to mention Lance Lenovo, my pet cat from last year. Man, God, all you got to do, because momentum, football is about momentum. And if you guys saw that first drive, the way that Randy Gregory got out the other quarterback and the way everybody was flying out to the ball, and when they hit you, they stuck you down on the ground and they didn't help you up. I like that. I like that philosophy. It's all about the mind. Let me give a quick shout out before I go a little bit further. Shout out to Brandon Newkirk. Thank you for joining in on the YouTube chat box. Stephen Mac 23. Hey, abnormally, thank you for tuning in too, as well. As always, a pleasure. Rick and G Garcia, thank you for tuning in too as well. Let me jump over to the Facebook panel. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's always a plus before I finish this thing out. Hey, Jay, thank you for tuning in too as well. Rich, Brandon, don't be concerned about the Twitter mentions. We won't even write the article on it. I wrote and DMV do. Yeah, shout out to you, Rich. Thank you for tuning in too as well. Always in the comments. Thank you for regulating the comments too as well. Corey, thank you for tuning in too as well. So we're going to get back to this thing. John Machota, what he saw, what he observed out there during practicing, during this preseason practice and what have you and beyond. Byron Jones. He looks good, man. I just want to see him for 4 quarters. 4 quarters, I really want to see Byron Jones for a full 4 quarters. He's doing a new positioning. He's sticky. He still have to get a little, to me personally, he just had to get a little bit more physical. And I see that the way that they moved him from playing safety closer to the line, and he got those long limbs and he got that good recovery skill, what you really want out of a pretty much a cornerback or defensive back in general. The thing is with Byron, do not put him out in space. You can eat his lunch out in space. But when Byron is close, and I think that he's traveling and following the hip pretty well out there too as well, it may be one of those years where it's everybody going out there buying number 31 jerseys. They sitting there to themselves, look, that Byron Jones, man, hey, we thought we had a bus and a pick. We could have had this guy. We could have had that guy. We could have had this guy or that guy. But this 31 pick, right now, this pick, whatever, the jersey number 31, It's looking nice for us because, everybody always going to compare Byron Jones to a Landon Collins. I think he played for the Giants or something like that. They always going to do that comparison because that was the guy that was picked after Byron Jones. And there was some other guys that kind of slipped my mind at this point. So Byron Jones may be worth the money right now, that 5th-year option and everything. And then it's always weird because this year it could be one of those years that Byron Jones have like 6 interceptions. Oh, Lord, that would be a miracle. But if he have 6 interceptions, man, that would be nice. And then he would demand like some crazy salary, right? This is the thing, the scratcher, the head scratcher here. And I do know that this is only practice, so don't take this wholeheartedly. They have Anthony Brown. As you look at this list, we don't see number 27. We don't see Jordan Velcro or Hip Pocket or Spider-Man Lewis. We don't see his name out there. So that makes us kind of say, hey, wait a minute, hold up, pump the brakes. You got Anthony Brown out there. Anthony Brown did run a 4.3 now. He's not as horrible as we think. I think that Anthony Brown had one of those Dak Prescott years, sophomore slump last year, and I think that maybe, just maybe, he's picking up the system of what Chris Richard want him to do out there. Maybe that's the deal, because I'm not out there in practice every day, but I'm looking at this lineup right now, and I can tell you right now that Anthony Brown is on this list, and I'm looking for number 27. I don't know if the mental warfare of what Chris Richard is pouring upon Jordan Lewis. We will see. We will see. And it is what it is at this point, guys. We can only observe. We can't get out there, and we can absorb some of this stuff in too. We can absorb some of this information too. But we can only watch and see what's going to happen. I don't know. But to me, I can tell you one thing that makes Jordan Lewis special for this team. I would rather right now, for kickoff return, punt returns, put Jordan Lewis out there. I saw him do it in college. So at least he will not do the things that my pet cat did last game. Lance Lenovo was pressing, caused a fumble, flipped the field for the opposition, and he was just trying to do too much. I know for sure Jordan Lewis, a kickoff and punt return, he's a sure catcher of the ball. He won't try to do anything risky. He will evaluate the situation and say, okay, I'm going to move out of the way. Football IQ. Not saying that my guy, number 14, don't have the football IQ, but damn it, he did that too many times. He did it against the Rams game last year during the preseason football game, and then he also did it a couple of times and did some crazy stuff. It cost us the game, basically, last game. It didn't cost us the game, but it changed the momentum of the game. Moving forward to number 23. That's a cold number, right? Everybody loved number 23. I love the number. And Tyree Robinson. Go look up his film session. Just type in Tyree Robinson, I think quick film session, or I think I put diamond in the rough or something like that. And you will see this guy is 6'3", 6'4"-ish, rangy guy. He holds everybody accountable when he played in college. Now he's still picking up the system. I think that Chris Richard is really like what he see out of this guy, skill set. So that's why he was with the first team coming out of the practice today, and also Jeff Heath. We all know what Jeff Heath brings to the table. My guy Vaj Lombardi said in the last 2 minutes of the game, Jeff Heath got Hall of Fame numbers. In the last 2 minutes of any game, Jeff Heath have Hall of Fame numbers. He got those numbers. All right, so let me move over here. Shout out to Lewis High Life. We live the high life. Appreciate you, man, for tuning in. KJ Rose, thank you for tuning in, too, as well. Barbos, thank you. He says, cut Lance Lenore. Cut it. Yeah. Put down in the chat box, too. I know I don't have this in the title, but what do you guys feel about Teddy Bridgewater? Should we bring him in? I don't know whether or not the Jets are going to keep 4 or 5 quarterbacks, but they got a plethora of quarterbacks, right? I'm with the belief that you bring in Teddy and you just say, hey, Dak, prove it. I do understand. I heard from 105.3 The Fan, Brian Broaders, one of the gems out there of football knowledge, especially one of the insiders of football camp and things like that. He's saying that no, the Cowboys don't want all of that clutter on Dak Prescott. And I'm sitting there with a different belief. I think they're still sharp and steel. If we bring it in everybody else, just like Anthony Brown is able to outbeat Jordan Lewis, why not bring that extra pressure to Dak Prescott? I love that. Hell State, Mississippi State, cut him. He may bleed maroon and, white, whatever the Mississippi State true colors are. But he may bleed that opposed to silver and blue. But this is the thing. We have to have competition. I love competition. That's why I was sitting there saying, hey, you put Dak Prescott out there during this the third preseason game, and let's see, can he do something, move the ball with his porous offensive line. But then I look back at everything, and Law Nation, as you guys know, I will tell you guys when I'm wrong. I will tell you. I will fall on the sword and say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. It was brought to my attention that when Dak Prescott was when his rookie year, that he practiced several times with Joe Looney. He already have rapport with Joe Looney because Joe Looney and Dak Prescott was practicing together. It was not Travis Frederick. And somebody put that out there, and I was saying, oh, wow, you're right. And I didn't know that, so I don't know everything. I just know something. And you guys know most of the things. So with the nation's help, you guys can help me out so that I can deliver more information like this. So I feel that rapport with Looney and Dak Prescott going to be okay. And I think that when Martin gets back, because, he's not, knock on some wood, he should be ready week 1. Lyle Collins, his leg and everything should be ready week 1. The young rookie, Connor Williams, he's okay. He's finesse right now. He's trying to gain that weight. He's going to be all right. And then my guy Tyrone Smith, he's going to be okay too as well. So this team is sneaking up on us. Although we can pump the brakes a little bit, but we still can have our reservations. Naturally, as fans, we shouldn't say, okay, it's pie in the sky, everything is going to be okay. We should still have some reservations. It's our team. We should never be, as a fan base, saying that this team is going to go 19-0. We're going to win every game we see, and we see no fault in the coaching staff. We see no fault in the offensive play, nor the defense. No, we should look at the team from an objective point of view and see where we can help this team out and see where we can push and probe and point the fingers at things and see how we can help this team out collectively. And then we send these things out. Because one thing I know for sure, when we do these film sessions, when we do these talks, the players are listening, right? It may seem far-fetched, but they are listening. We get my guy Okoye, Vaj Lombardi, Big Game James. We get players to reach out to us and say, hey, man, yeah, you were right on this, or hey, man, you were wrong on this, So this stuff still echoes down to the mass media and throughout the populace of the world. So it still gets to their eardrums because, sometimes we speak the truth and it's just like a loving family. Not everybody's baby's cute, right? And sometimes, sometimes that family, we'll tell that ugly baby, oh, you got a wonderful personality. Or when that baby gets older, we say that baby grew into his looks. Or she had to grow into her looks. And that's just being real, But damn it, we do not allow outsiders to say that baby is ugly. Because now we finna roll up them sleeves, You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Stevie Mack again, man. What's up? Cowboys Crunk. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining in, man. I try to go live every day, even twice on Sunday. We try to do this thing. Diego, I see you on the Facebook panel, man. Shout out to you too as well. Trey Vander Esch for Earl Thomas. No, you don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Vander Esch got a high ceiling. As much as we kind of dog out Vander Esch right now, think about this, and I'm not calling him a J.J. Watt, but if I can just go back in time and show you guys the tweets of when the Texans drafted J.J. Watt, and I'm not calling Vander Esch J.J. Watt. No, I'm not saying that. But everybody was saying, boo, this guy is trash. Why would we go get this guy? I'm talking about the Texans, and they realize now that they eating their words. So Van Der Esch got a high ceiling. That's what all I have to say on that. But let's move forward. It's the time. Time is always my enemy. I always love talking to you guys about this. But shout out to Ted Mitchell and who else over here? Rodriguez, man. Thank you for tuning in too as well on the Facebook panel, the Elite panel. Thank you for doing what you do out there. Maxwell, Joe Rod, what's going on with you, man? Shout out to you and your entire family. March Litter made me forget about LVE. March Litter, he's number 53, right? Because I remember the numbers before I remember the players. If that number can just implant and just be engraved in my mind, in my head, that number means that guy jumped out to me. And number 53, he did. He got some skills, man. Hopefully, our linebacking core can just stay the way they are right now, the rotational piece, and you sprinkle in. You give LVE an entire year to learn this thing, and then hopefully next year we'll be saying, like, hey, that LVE pick, kind of like what we did with Taco, right? Kind of like what we did with the other guy from Boise, the D-Law. That year goes by real quick, and then that next year we say, oh, this guy looks pretty good. This guy looks sharp. All right, moving forward onto the Sports Illustrated prediction. This is always the year to do these type of things of like they say, predictions and stuff like that. It's one of those things where we always have to say to ourselves, okay, hit us with your best shot. And then before I pull up this, illustration, they got us not favorable. And they really, I'm just going to fast forward to everything. They got the Atlanta Falcons and the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the Super Bowl. So we'll see how close they are. But let me pull up this thing. 1, 2, there you go. My powers work. All right, so 2018 predictions, regular seasons. It's so tiny, man. Oh, I didn't know it was going to be this tiny. My bad, guys. Let me see what I can do. Let's see if my powers can work again. Let's see if I can do it this way. If you're watching from your phone or cell phone, you may have to just zoom in real good because, this is as big as I can get this thing to go. And let me see, go right here. No, I don't want it this big. Let me see if I can get this thing out right here. But it's one thing I can tell you guys for sure that let me see if I can get back to it. The Sports Illustration article of these teams. Just look at it. Just look at it and see what they have out there. And while I'm pulling up this thing all together, they have. You really got to squint your eyes. I apologize. The NFC East, they're 11-5. The Philadelphia Eagles, they have us, the Cowboys, 8-8. Actually, they were so disrespectful of the 8-8. They have the New York Giants ahead of us on the 8-8 column, right? I can't make this stuff up. And then on top of that, they have the Washington Redskins, the dumpster fires that they are, 5-11. Now, this is the thing. I'm going to break down just my NFC East. I just don't have the time to go all of these columns here, nor did I pull up the Super Bowl predictions that they have out here. Let's just break this thing down. So they got the filthy winning 11 games. Now, granted, we saw actual Nick Foles look like hot flaming garbage against the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is the thing. Every year we get this type of treatment as Cowboys. We always get like either high expectations or very low expectations or right in the middle, and most of the time it's right in the middle because of the 8-8. Now, remind you guys that the Saints, and I'm going to have to jump all the way to another conference, another division. The Saints went 7-9, 3 or 4 years in a row. Nobody never mentioned that, right? But all of a sudden, the Cowboys go 8-8 3 years in a row, and it is just one of the worst things that can ever happen to a coach. It's the horriblest coach that's ever existed and this sort of thing. But I come here to tell you that there's no way that I feel deep down in my heart that this team can go 8-8. You can just remove all of the Cowboys' biasness out along, but if you was to insert Ezekiel Elliott, if you had Ezekiel Elliott last year for more, like if he was not suspended for the 6 games, in the chat box, if you, whether or not are you on the Facebook, or whether or not you're watching this show on Rewind, or whether or not you watch this show 10 months from now, that's a long time from now. We already have it in the Lombardi Trophy. But if you're watching this show down the line, you can comment. Put down your thoughts, because it's forever going to be out here. Everybody can hear your thoughts and see your thoughts. Do you believe with all of your heart, soul, and desire that this team would have went 9-7 if Ezekiel Elliott played every single game last year? If you can just put down YES, if you can spell it out for me, then that's so we can keep a running record, so we can go back to this clip and we can say, okay, everybody believed that Ezekiel Elliott, if he played all 16 games, that they would have went 9-7 last year. Now, the reason why I'm painting this wonderful canvas, or painting this beautiful picture so you guys can see, is the fact that Ezekiel Elliott, we don't have this quote unquote Roger Goodell all up our you know what now. We don't have the investigation with the lady lying and all this stuff, saying that he beat me and all this. And we don't have the on the field, off the field situation going on with Ezekiel Elliott. And one thing that I can say, that this team, although the offensive line looked horrid, it looked terrible, we don't have that issues going on now. So with that being said, I feel, even though I would give them this 8-8, but I can tell you right now, deep down in my heart, I feel that we are at least one game better. At minimum, we are at least one game better than what we were last year. And we can just say that. We can say that with convictions. We can say that with power of our mind and thoughts. And I can tell you guys that right now, at least we should be 10-6 if Ezekiel Elliott played every single game this year. Now, if not, then I think that the Cowboys have made the proper plans and procedures to have Rod Smith out there, to have, whether or not they're going to roll with a Jameis Olawale. They're going to roll with Jameis Olawale. Whether or not they're going to roll with Darius Jackson. I'm about to say Steve Jackson. Darius Jackson or Bo Scarborough. I don't know if both of those guys, going to be one of those guys not going to make it. It's going to be a hard cut somewhere. But I think that this team is more prepared now than they were last year. And I actually got a roll, man. It's 5:55 or 5:52 where I'm at. I actually got a jet. But that's all the time I have for today. I really thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like this page, subscribe to this account, join the notification squad. So if you're out and about and you just know that you want to hear Cowboys content, Cowboys news, to jump on aboard, and I'll be right here to give you guys some information. Also, I have a podcast that's LAW Nation. You guys can join that podcast. If you'd like to support the growth of this channel, all you have to do is join the Patreon. That's Laws Nations, or patreon.com/Laws Nations or Law Nation. You should see my face or my logo. You can join that way. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, MySpace, YouTube, Black Planet. You just follow me anywhere. I'm everywhere, and this is how it goes, baby. Let's get this thing going one way or another. That's been my time. I really thank you for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. Let's jam on out, baby. I really appreciate you guys. You know I love you. You know I love you all. You know I love you all. You know it. I can't go a day without speaking to you guys. Let me find my music, though. Let's get this thing crunk. Yeah. 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 Put down the record prediction, man. Let me know what you guys think we're going to go. Let me turn it down just a little bit. Put down your record prediction. I'm saying at least 10-6. What are you saying? What are you guys saying? Put down your prediction. It's on and popping now. Mildew or barbecue. And don't forget to put down where you're from and how long you've been following the channel. And shout out to your state, your country. Yeah. 16-0. I see you, Cowboys crunk. Yeah, speak with convictions. That's